have always loved books. Since I was a tiny child, I've always loved writing and reading. My dad would take me to the library every weekend and I would take out 10 books and I'd finish them by Tuesday and be like, take me back. And I always wrote when I was a child as well. I was always in trouble for writing in my homework diary at school instead of writing my actual homework. And then I became a teenager, I was studying English more seriously, and it sort of took the fun out of it a little bit. And I started to think maybe writing isn't very cool to do. And then I came to university and I did the first year of a business and economics degree, and I was so bored. It was so boring. And I started to get the itch again to write, and so I thought, I want to do English and creative writing, but it doesn't seem a very practical degree. So I moved into a journalism degree instead. This was in 2009, so a difficult time for newspapers and magazines. But I left university and I got a job at a magazine, and it was great. I was being paid to write, but I still had that itch of I want to completely invent something. And so it was when I was 21, 22, when I left university, that I wrote a book for the first time.
Great, thank you. And how many books did you write?
I've written a lot of books.
Yeah.
I think this was my 15th book. It was the 9th.
I'm not sure.
You lose track at a certain time. It was the 9th one that I had published.
Okay.
So I have manuscripts in that time that will never be published because they're very bad. And I have some manuscripts that I hope will be published one day, but they didn't work at the time. And so yeah, this was my 9th published book.
Okay. And do you have any advice for other authors?
Yeah, I'm not going to say the obvious one, which is you have to read a lot and you have to practice a lot. That is a given. You have to love books, you know. I have 2 pieces of advice. The first is that you have to let yourself get bored. And I think this is a real problem now, because every time you feel even a little bit bored, you pick up your phone and you can scroll and you can have the boredom taken away. But I think it's really hard to let your imagination go wild if you aren't letting yourself get bored. There's a reason I do a lot of good thinking when I'm driving, because you are just bored and you can't pick up your phone and you can't do anything else, you just have to think. So my first piece of advice would be let yourself get bored, let your mind wander, because that's when the ideas start to come. And the second is that you have to get enough pleasure and enough joy out of the act of writing that it almost doesn't matter whether you get published and whether you're successful. And I'm someone who's had a very up and down career. I've had some success, but I've had a lot of failure. And when you're failing, you have to really still want to write, because it's like, it's a part of you. And so my advice would be to like hold on to the part of you that just loves to write, because when times are tough, that's what will get you through.
Difficult.
It's so difficult, and it sounds so easy for me to say on the other side, but trust me, like 2 years ago things went great, and I had to be like, even if I was never read again, even if I was never published again, I would still want to write books, and that gets you through.
And I have a question. It's a difficult question, but how do you feel about social media as a human and as a writer?
There's as a human and as a writer and as a mother as well.
Yeah, of course.
So I think it is a blessing and a curse. I think immense good can come from social media. I think it's great for giving sort of lonely and isolated people a sense of community. It helped me find a writing community, you know. I'm from the north of England. I didn't know any other writers. I do now. But yeah, it just wasn't a common thing to do. I was from a very small town. No one else in that town seemed to like books, you know? And now I'm like, if I was growing up now, I would have BookTok and I would have Bookstagram, you know? But at the same time, there's a lot of danger that comes with social media. There are a lot of bad people on social media. I was also bullied on social media when I was 18, and that was when Facebook was really just becoming a thing. And so the teachers were like, what's cyberbullying? I don't know what to do with that. As an author, I think it's incredible. I think it has changed so many careers. Like BookTok can just take a book and make it explode, and I think that's so exciting. It's a really exciting time to be an author. But on the other end of it, there's a lot of pressure to be more present than you otherwise would be. And every time I'm posting a video on social media, I'm not writing.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
And then as a mother, yeah, it terrifies me. Yeah. It really scares me. And I don't envy teachers, and I don't envy schools for having to like find a way to moderate it. I think it's terrifying.
Because of bullying and everything. Yeah.
Bullying. There's this show on Netflix at the minute called Adolescence, which I had to turn off because I have a son, and I was like, I can't watch this anymore. But yeah, I think it's still a relatively new phenomenon when you look at humanity as a whole. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the next 10 or 20 years, for better or for worse.
I think there is a lot of awful people.
Yeah, but there are awful people everywhere. Yeah. There are awful people walking down the street. You know, wherever there are humans, there are going to be bad humans.
Yeah. So. About this book, who is your favorite character?
Katerina. So there are Catalina. Sorry, there are two love interests in the book, and there's one who is very hard and kind of evil. And I wanted to set it up so that you would think the whole time that Davina, this kind of like really intense character, was going to be the big love interest. And I wanted to set up this kind of like softer love interest. She's very into baking, she's very into Dungeons and Dragons, she really complements like the nerdy side of Penny. And there was a line I wrote before I wrote any other line in this book, and the first line I wrote, I don't know what it is in French, I'm sorry, but it was, maybe love doesn't have to be carved with a scalpel. And it's kind of about letting yourself feel that really like soft and genuine love. And every time she was on the page, I just had the best time writing her. They're at drama school, and there's one scene which is one of my favorites, in which Penny's really struggling with this improvisation exercise, and she just turns it into a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and I had the best time writing her. I want to be her friend.
Yeah. And a little game. I want you to say 2 truths and a lie. First, about you.
Okay.
And second, about this book.
Okay, so I need a second.
I'm very bad at guessing, so.
Okay.
So you have to tell which one is the lie.
Okay. Okay. About me first.
As you want.
I have won money playing chess. I have been skydiving, and I'm really good at karaoke.
Oh, I'm very bad. You are not very good at karaoke.
I'm so bad at karaoke! I'm terrible at karaoke. I can do one rap, and that's it.
Okay. I'm a very bad singer too.
Okay.
And about the book.
About the book, yeah. Okay. This is cheating though, because you've read the book.
I didn't read it.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. So, it's set at a haunted drama school. The mirrors can kill you, and there's an immortal cat. You have to guess.
The second one.
The mirrors can kill you?
Yeah.
No. The mirrors can't kill
Oh.
you. The immortal cat is actually from the Society for Soulless Girls, so it's kind of a cheat. It's in one of my other books, but I love the immortal cat.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. It was so nice to talk to you.
Thank you.